So, a reminder before the lesson begins, make sure you're taking notes and you're listening and watching for the keyword or phrase. Let's get to it.
So today we're going to be talking about parallel lines that are cut by transversal and how to find missing angle measurements when given angle measurements in terms of expressions. Using our knowledge from the last lesson, which I will link to this video, we're going to use the angle relationships that we know in a set of parallel lines and use that to help us set up equations. So the first thing we have is just to review what we've gone over in the last lesson, what angles are congruent, what are going to add up to 180. So looking at this image, we know that angles 1 and 4 are going to be vertical angles and they're going to be equal to each other. They're going to be congruent. With that knowledge that we learned from the last lesson, we know that also 4 and 5 are also going to be equal to each other. And then from there, we can also say that angle 8 is going to be equal to 5, 4, and 1 because 5 and 8 are also vertical angles. So I can set up this as angle 1 is going to be equal to angle 4, which is equal to angle 5, and then equal to angle 8. On the other hand, we have another set of congruent angles. We have 2 and 3, which again are also vertical angles, with alternate interior angles making that Z, like we talked about in the other lesson. We have 3 and 6 are going to be equal to each other, which is also going to be equal through vertical angles to angle 7. So this would be considered one set. And then the second set would be angle 2, which is equal to angle 3, which is equal to angle 6, and equal to angle 7. Now thinking about the relationship of adding up to 180, we're thinking about supplementary angles, so things that are creating a line. So 1 and 2 can be considered supplementary, 3 and 1, 2 and 4, and then also 3 and 4. So all those would be considered supplementary angles. So we have angle 1 plus angle 2 would equal 180. We have 2 plus 4. We have 1 plus 3. And then we have angle 3 plus angle 4. All of these angles, or these pairs, will equal to 180. Also, we have 4 and 6. These are supplementary. 5 and 6. We have 3 and 5. 1 and 7. So color coordinating the values that will be equal can really show you that a green plus a purple will become supplementary angles. In this case, at least, it could be any color in yours. 2 and 8 would be supplementary. So I'll write that. 2 and 8 is 180. We also have angle 5 and 6. 7 plus angle 5. Angle 7 plus angle 8. And then angle 7 plus angle 1 equals 180. So again, as you can see, color coordinating can definitely help you identify this. Let's try some practice problems. So we are going to be focusing on number 1. We are provided with the measurement of angle 1 and the measurement of angle 5. So using this knowledge, what I usually do is I just substitute this in so I know exactly what I need. What I also do is I try and highlight some of these so I know these are going to be equal. So this is going to help me kind of establish which ones are going to be set equal together, which ones are going to be supplementary. So these are set equal to each other. So we have 7x plus 2 equals 3x plus 12. And then I'm just going to isolate my variable. So subtract 3x from both sides. I'm going to get 4x equals, and then 2, sorry, subtract 2 equals 10. If I divide by 4 on both sides, I'm going to be getting x equals 10 over 4, which is really x equals 2.5. But remember, this is only x. I need to substitute x to get all the angle measurements because we have our first part, but now we need to find all angle measurements based on part A. So if I know this is 7 times 2.5 plus 2, this is going to be 19.5 degrees. That means this will be 19.5 degrees, this will be 19.5 degrees, and this one will be 19.5 degrees. Knowing that, I can then say 180 minus 19.5 will give me its supplement, which is 160.5, and I'm just keeping it in decimal form. So I know my other angles are going to be 160.5 degrees, 160.5 degrees, 160.5 degrees. All right, let's go over number 2. So number 2, you need to solve for x and then fill in all the measurements for all the angles. So we're doing 2, solve for x and then measurements for all angles. All right, so how are these related? We have this angle is going to be equal to this is going to be equal, and this is going to be equal. Okay, and then I'm going to fill in the other ones. So remember this one, this, and this. So these are going to be supplementary. So that means I have 3x plus 10, minus 10 plus 5x plus 30 is going to be equal to 180. So now I'm just going to combine my like terms, 3x and 5x, 10 and 30. So I have 8x plus 20 equals 180. If I subtract 20 from both sides, I will get 160 on one and 8x on the other. Then since 8 and x are connected by multiplication, I need to separate by division. So x is going to equal 20. So we found out what x equals. Now I have to use it to substitute in. So 3 times 20 minus 10, 5 times 20 plus 30. So here we have 3 times 20 is going to give you 60 minus 10 is 50. So this is 50 degrees. 5 times 20 is 100. 100 plus 30 is 130, 130 degrees. So just to double check, my 130 plus 50 degrees is going to give me 180, and that checks out. Now, knowing this information, I can go back in and say, okay, well, I know this is 130 degrees, this is 130 degrees, and this is 130 degrees. This is 50 degrees, 50 degrees, and 50 degrees. And I know this because I pre-color coded everything. And again, once you pick an angle to color, a certain color, you know that all the congruent ones, and then that's going to help you with your supplementary. All right, let's try number 3. So same kind of concept of solving for x and then fill in all the angle measurements. Pause the video here. You're going to try this one on your own and come back and check your answer. So this one was a little tricky because you are going to have to deal with your fractions. So here we have our angles. I'm just color coding them in advance so I know which ones are going to be supplementary, which ones are going to be congruent. In this case, you have 2 congruent angles, so that means you have 2x minus 10 equals your 65 minus x. Okay, so now we're going to solve for x and then figure out what the angle measurements are. So we have plus x on both sides. This is going to give me 3x minus 10 equals 65. Add 10, 3x equals 75. We're going to divide 3 by both sides and get x equals 15. So the first part is done. Sorry, x equals 25. Now we have to find out the angle measurement. So I'm going to do 2 times 25 minus 10, 65 minus 25. So 2 times 25 is going to give me 50. Minus 10 is going to give me 40 degrees. If I did this right, my other angle should be exactly the same thing. 65 minus 25 will give me 40 degrees. So each of these are going to be 40 degrees. And then I want to figure out my supplement. So that's going to be 180 minus 40. I'm left with 140 degrees. So the supplement is going to be 140 degrees. All right, so make sure you took your notes, make sure you're writing down any questions, check out and identify your keyword or phrase, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.